Hi everyone, this is Coach Jingo, and in this video I'm going to talk about or show to you the hiragana symbols. Alright, so in your screen makikita ninyo there are 46 hiragana symbols, and I'm going to go through it one by one. Isa-isa natin tong titignan. And it will show you kung paano ito isinusulat. Yung mga strokes para maisulat ninyo ang bawat syllable ng hiragana is gonna be shown to you in this video. Okay, so over here, makikita ninyo ang A, I, U, E, O. And I will just show you how the strokes are being done para makita ninyo kung paano nyo siya isusulat. Okay, first, A. Okay, so parang tatlong strokes siya, di ba? Ulitin natin. 1, 2, and then 3. Next is yung E. E. Dalawang beses lang. So, again, 1, 2. Ito pagka isinulat nyo, medyo aangatin nyo ng konting-konti lang para magkaroon siya ng pataas, and it will form like that, parang hook na nasa the right side, and then 1, 2, that's E. Okay, ito namang U, isa, dalawa. Okay, ulitin natin. 1, 2. Alright. So, madali lang siya. At pag nakasanayan nyo to, you will write it like you are writing your name. Alright? So, ito naman, 1, 2. Dalawa lang din. Dalawang strokes. Ulit. Halos pareho lang nito. Yung sa U, ang papalitan mo lang, ang babaguhin mo ito. Okay? Again. 1, 2. 1, 2. Alright. Ito, halos kahawig nito. Very slight lang yung difference, itong O, sa A. Makikita nyo naman. And it's very easy to follow kasi ayan naman po sa harapan ninyo, may pagkokopyahan kayo. The younger kids, kung ang tuturuan nito ay bata, matututo silang mabilis. Siguro naman mas madali nating matututunan to dahil mga may edad na tayo. 'Di ba? Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Tatlong beses din. Ulit. 1, 2, 3. Mayroon pa dun sa kabila. Parang pahabol, no? So, ulitin natin. 1, 2, 3. Alright. In Japanese, like English, there are 5 vowels, albeit in a different order. Hindi katulad ng pagbasa natin, no? Sa atin kasi A, E, I, O, U. Ito, A, I, U, E, O. Okay? Remember, they always have the same sound as in banana. Yung A, ba, na, na. I as in image. U as in zoo. E as in elephant. And O as in over. You mention it as it is. You speak about it as it is. You pronounce it as it is. Parang Tagalog lang. Alright. So, following Japanese alphabetical order, our next stop is the letters from what I call the K group. Okay, sabi dito, ito yung tinatawag niyang K group sa hiragana. So, pakikita natin, ito yung ka, ki, ku, ke, ko. At ipakikita rin natin kung paano ito sinusulat. Okay, first 1, 2, 3. Ulitin natin. 1, 2, 3. That's ka. Ito naman. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ulit. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's ki. Mukhang susi nga naman siya, di ba? And then, ku. Isang beses lang. So, it's only one stroke. Madaling-madali lang si ku. Okay, ku. Tandaan ninyo, ang dali ni ku, no? Parang arrow siya. Oh, sorry. Para siyang bow na pabaligtad, nakaharap sa kaliwa, and it's only one stroke. Okay, ku. And then, 1, 2, 3. Ke. 1, 2, 3, ke. 1, 2, ko. 1, 2, ko. Alright, next is yung Hiragana G group. Ang Hiragana G group ay yung nasa mga G na syllables. Alright? So, ito. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ga. Ulit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ga. Ito naman. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Gi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Gi. Ito pong mga ito, nanggaling din ito dito. Nakita niyo yan? Parehong-pareho lang sila. Pero, lalagyan natin nito. Itong mga symbols na ito. So, do they look familiar? 'Di ba? Indeed, the K group and G group are written almost the same. The difference, if you can spot, is in the Dakuten marker or tenten symbol. Ito pong mga ito. Ayan. Yan yung mga tenten symbol o Dakuten marker. Sila parang mga apostrophe, no? By adding this marker, the hard K sound becomes the somewhat softer G sound. Please note that the G sounds strong in Japanese. Sa Japanese po, pag sinabi mong ge lang yon. Hindi yun pa pwedeng maging part ng itong garage, di ba? Yung G sa dulo, ge yan, pero ang bigas garage, hindi maaaring mangyari yan. Palaging, kung ano yung tunog niya, yun lang siya. You cannot get it any other way. You cannot speak it any other way. Kung ano lang siya. So, kung gagi, go, gagi, kung gagi, gu, gego, yun lang. Walang je or jo. Wala. So, gage, gu, gagi, gu, gego. Yun lang. Next is, okay, so, Hiragana S group. Moving forward to S group, the most important thing to notice here is that there isn't a natural C sound in Japanese. Only a she one. Wala pong C. Okay? Walang C. She lang. So, yan lang ang pwede nyo magamit. You have no choice but to, use it because it's the rule of their alphabet. Okay? This is the source of countless jokes about the Japanese pronunciation of some English words, such as city. Please don't go there. Another thing to note, after you memorize this line, you can already write the word sushi in Hiragana. Oo, tama. Yung sushi, 2 beses lang yan isusulat at sushi na yung katumbas. Alright? So, ito, sushi. Yan, tingnan natin kung paano ito isinusulat. Ang sa, 1, 2, 3. Ulit. 1, 2, 3, sa. She, 1. She, isang beses lang. Su, ayan, 1 and 2 lang. 1, 2, su. Pero actually, ang bigkas po dito ay tsu. Alright? Tsu. Okay, ang se, 1, 2, 3. Ulit. 1, 2, 3. May kahawig to, di ba? Pero, pakikita ko sa inyo later. Kaya, pabaligtad siya. May kahawig to, pero pabaligtad siya. Ito se, ito naman sa, ay ke. One, 2, 3, se. 1, 1 lang yung so. Ulit. 1. Para ka lang pumirma. Ang bilis. Okay. So, next is yung Z group. So, makikita nyo, magkamukha na naman sila. Nilagyan lang uli ng tenten symbol. So, Basahin natin, pakikita. So, ang dali. Kasi kokopyahin nyo lang ng kokopyahin yung dati yung ginagawa. Magdadagdag lang kayo ng tenten symbol, maiiba na po siya. So, magiging zay na yung start niya. Alright. So, ito, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Za. Ito naman, 1, 2, 3. G. Ito, 1, 2, 3, 4, Zu. At ito naman, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Z. At itong pirma, lalagyan mo lang ng dalawang tenten symbol, Zo. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Tatlong strokes lang. And Zo na siya. So, it's very easy. Actually, it's really easy. Pag nasanay na kayo dito, it's gonna be like your second way of writing. Hindi na kayo mahihirapan. So, the Z group is to the S group as the G group is to the K group. Di ba yung K group, may dinagdag ka lang, naging G na yung sagot, pronunciation niya. Yung S naman, may dinagdag ka lang, naging Z na yung pronunciation niya. So, just write the same symbols again. This time, making sure to add the tenten symbol. Again, it's the second symbol that may cause us trouble, as there is no natural Z sound in Japanese. With the shi and tenten symbol sounding closer to a G sound as in Jimmy, it is also the G in Mount Fuji. That is why the Japanese word for Zimbabwe sounds something like Zimbabwe. Kasi nga po, wala namang Z word. Yung she, pag nilagyan mo ng ganyan, hindi siya magiging Z, magiging G. Okay? So, next is yung Hiragana T group. Dito naman tayo sa Hiragana T group. Have you started noticing that the second column is our problem child? There is no proper T. Oo nga naman, walang proper T kasi chi lang eh. Instead, we have chi as in chicken, cheese, or Al Pacino. Another thing to watch out is that in Japanese, there is no tu, but only tsu, as in Mitsubishi, or the infamous tsunami. Ang bigas po dyan is tsunami, hindi tsunami, tsunami. Also note how you can easily break down every word I have mentioned so far into syllables. Mitsubishi and tsunami. Okay? Before we move on to the D group, there is another thing I should mention. There is a symbol called sokwon. You do not need to memorize these grammar names. That looks like just like the tsu above. In fact, the Japanese just call it small tsu. See, I told you, you do not need to memorize the grammatical names. For your comparison, here is the regular one, tsu, and here is the smaller one, tsu. Rather than having its own sound, the small tsu indicates a pause in the word. In our alphabet, we normally indicate this pause by writing two consonants after the pause, as in the words Nippon. One of the ways of saying Japan is Ippon. Highest score in judo or karate or bukkake. Some things are better left unexplained. Minsan po talaga, totoo naman, maski silang mga Hapon, hindi nila alam ipaliwanag ito. But, well, all you have to do is follow what is being taught to you. Kung paano itinuro sa inyo, yun lang din po yung susundan ninyo. Okay? Hindi kayo maliligaw. Alright? So, pakita natin how this is being written. Yung T group. Pero tandaan nyo, inuulit ko, walang T, ha? Chi. Chi ang meron, T wala. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta. Ulit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta. 1, 2. 1, 2. Chi. 1, 2. 2, 1, te, 1, 2, to. 1, 2, to. So, ayan po. So, iyan yung ating T group. Ngayon, punta naman tayo sa D group. Makikita ninyo na may dinagdag na naman. Idinadagdag lamang and then magbabago na siya. Dadagdagan lang uli natin ng 10 symbols. Alright? So, 1. Tingnan nyo, pareho lang naman sila. Parehong-pareho. Pero dinagdagan natin ng 10 symbols. Yung ta, naging da. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Da. Ngayon, itong G, di ba? Kanina chi ito, dinagdagan ng 2 symbol at naging G. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. G. 1, 2, 3. Zoo. 1, 2, 3. De. Kanina te yan. So, ito, 1, 2, 3, 4. Do. So, katulad din siya ng T group, dinagdagan lang po ng 10 symbols. Alright. Ito naman tayo sa N group. So, nani, nu, neno. 1, 2, 3, 4. Na. 1, 2, 3, 4. Andali, no? Na. And then, ni. 1, 2, 3. Ni. Ulit. 1, 2, 3. Ni. Ito naman ay nu. 2 strokes lang siya. In fact, 1, 2. Diba? Parang pumirma ka na naman. 1, 2. Nu. Itong ne, ganun din. Para ka lang nag-scribble. Ang dali-dali. 1, 2. At ang no, pinakamadali. Alright. So, na, ni, nu, ne, no. Ngayon, ang H group. Dito naman tayo sa H group. Ha, hi, fu. Sometimes the Japanese people speak about it or pronounce it like hu. Hu. Parang humihinga lang. No? Yung fu, pwede pong sabihin hu. Katulad halimbawa ng off-furu, kailangan mo sabihin off-furu. Pero pag sinabi mo, merong words na ang bigkas dyan ay hu, para ka lang nagtatawag ng kuting or tuta. Hu. Ganon. Alright. So, and then he, and then ho. So, basically, yung hu magiging fu. There are words na you have to say it as fu, and there are words that you have to say it as hu. Maririnig niyo yan. So, just observe. Madali lang po yan pag na-observe nyo. Yung mga tao o mga makakahalubilo nyo na kung paano nila sabihin yan. Okay, may explanation dito, no? You probably thought we would be simply adding the 10-10 mark to the N group. Now, actually, the N group has no other version. Yep, it is boring. Instead, we have these new symbols, which suggests you get accustomed to. As you will see in some articles from now, we will be using H group and especially the ha and the he a lot. Okay. Please note that the H group sounds like the English words hell, hospital, helicopter instead of the silent H. Present in some languages like Portuguese or English words like honor and honest. So, iyan kailangan mong talagang banggitin. Hindi katulad ng honor and honest na wala yung H doon. Please also take note of the symbol fu or hu, which is addition to being possibly the hardest kana to write. Kasi po, hindi mo nga maintindihan kung paano mo siya sasabihin. It fu or hu. Okay, so sounds like fu as in kung fu instead of hu. Diba? Kakalito. That's why we have words like off-furo and again, Mount Fuji. Because basically, Mount Fuji exists to remind us learners of Japanese about the proper pronunciation of Japanese words. Pero dyan nyo malalaman na hindi lahat ng words sa Japanese ay pare-pareho ng pagbigkas. Mahirap ito ayon din sa kanilang mga Hapon na mahirap talaga. But then, you know, the only way for you to become really good in Japanese language is to practice it. Always speak Japanese. Always find someone who you can speak with and practice, practice, practice. Yun lang naman yun. Alright. So, hindi naman po lahat ng tao pinanganak na marunong na magsalita. Lahat inaral yan eh. So, if we were able to do it when we were young kids, it's not really impossible to do it again or to learn it again and to learn new languages. Alright? So, let's go to Hiragana B group. Welcome to the B group. Once again, we are adding the 10-10 mark to the previous group. Yung mga ha natin, mga heho, who, yan. Dadagdagan mo lang ng 10-10 symbol and then magbabago na siya. Magiging B. So, ito po, ayan. Alright, so hindi ko to napakita kung paano to ini-stroke. Ulitin natin. 1, 2, ha. 1, he. 1, 2, 3, 4, fu or hu, and then he, 1, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, ho. Ito naman lalagyan ng 10-10 symbol, magiging B. So, it's really easy, you know. Okay, ayan. 1, 2, 3, tapos yung 10-10 symbols, magiging ba. Napakadali po, basta matandaan nyo lang yun. Bakit ganon? Bakit ganyan? So, you can find your own diskarte or you can find your own way to easily remember things. Kasi, ang gagawin mo lang, iisipin mo, yung ha, pag dinagdagan mo ng 10-10 symbol, magiging ba. Diba? So, ayan siya. Ganyan lang siya. Okay. So, that's how easy it is. Alright. Ayan. Yung fu or hu, dinagdagan ng 10-10 symbol, naging bu. Yung be, dinagdagan ng 10-10 symbol, naging be. Yung he kanina. And then yung ho, dinagdagan ng 10-10 symbol, naging bo. Alright. So, pupunta naman tayo sa P group. Pareho din sila ng B group at saka ng H group, pero yung symbol papalitan natin. So, sabi nga dito, surprise, the P group also takes after the H group, but this time, instead of the 10-10, we add a small circle called handakuten. Again, please do not worry about remembering this. Hindi nyo na kailangang maalala yan, or maru, literally circle, maru, circle ang ibig sabihin yan, and madali nyo nang matatanda na pag ganyan, pe, pa, okay? Pa, pi, pu, pe, po. Alright? This is only time we will use this marker. The maru is remarkably similar to this degree symbol as in degree centigrade. And so you would be just fine writing it as so. There is not much to add. So, let's just move on to our next group. So, ganun lang po. Okay. So, it's not really very complicated. Imposibleng hindi nyo matutunan to para pahabain pa natin ng pahabain at kulitin ko pa kayo ng kulitin. It's really very easy kasi tatlong grupo, pare-pareho, symbols lang ang babaguhin. So, ito nilagyan ng symbol, naging pa, ito nilagyan ng symbol, naging pi, ito nilagyan ng symbol, naging pu, ayan, yung maru nilagay yan, naging pe, ito ay nilagyan ng maru, naging po. So, dito naman tayo sa M group. The M group is very straightforward, having no exceptions whatsoever. Also, like the N group before, it does not have a 10-10. It does not have a 10-10 form, actually. None of the symbols we have yet to study have 10-10 forms. However, please note that as we learn more and more hiragana, we start noticing some similarities between them. The ma symbol resembles somewhat the ha from the H group, and the mu and the me is very similar to the nu from the N group. So, please write them with attention. So, ayan po yung ma. Okay, 3 strokes. 2 strokes yung mi. 1, 2, 3 yung mu. 2 yung me. At tatlo ang mo. So, Hiragana M group. Ngayon pupunta tayo sa Hiragana Y group. Tatlo lang yan. Kasi tatlo lang po ang pinagagamitan yan. Madalas, okay? So, Hiragana Y group. The Y group only has 3 symbols. Ya, yu, and yo. But we will spend considerable time talking about them. Not because their sounds are hard. They sound just like you probably think they do. Ya is in Yahoo, you as in you, and yo as the greeting yo. But because they can be combined with the previous hiragana, specifically with those in the I or E column, to make many different sounds. Sounds hard, but it isn't. Hindi yan mahirap. Akala nyo lang mahirap. Akala nyo lang yun. Nasa isip nyo lang. Alright? Let's take a Japanese word that you probably know. Example, ninja. Earlier, we saw that hiragana word G. Okay? In the Z group of all places. But we never saw the hiragana for ja. So, how do we write the word ja? How do we write the word ninja? That is when the Y group comes in handy. Doon po yan natin isusulat. You see, to write the sound ja, we combine the G with ya. So, yan dalawang yan, pag pinagsama mo, magiging ja. Actually, with a smaller version of it. Okay, yung maliit na version. Need another example? Let's take the former capital of Japan, Kyoto. In the K group, we saw no KY. So, how can we write it? Again, we take the ki symbol and add the yo symbol to it. And then it will form like kiyo or kyo. And by the way, to show you again the limitations of using the Latin alphabet to write Japanese, Kyoto is actually written Kyoto. So the proper rendition of it would be Kyoto. Alright? So, i-dissect pa po natin to ng maliliit na videos para mas maintindihan nyo, kaya wag kayong mag-alala. By the way, there are no yi and yes sounds in modern Japanese. Their currency, which we call yen, is called en by the Japanese themselves. Alright, so pakita lang natin yung pag-stroke. Ayan, ya. Ito naman yung yu. At ito naman ang yo. Now, punta tayo sa Hiragana R group. Hiragana R group. Ito yung, alright, so ra, ri, dalawang stroke, ru, isang stroke, re, ayan, and then ro. Diba? May kamukha to pag naalala nyo sa taas. Yung sinabi ko parang nag-i-scribble ka lang. The R group is a nice break after the Y group. There are no exceptions. No special mentions, no asterisks. This is an easy group. Again, please mind the differences between ru and ro, and between re and ne from the N group. And finally, note that you can already write the word hiragana in hiragana. O, diba? Pwede mo nang isulat yung hiragana. Magsaya na tayo. So, bansay. Okay. Next is hiragana outliers. Okay. Finally, the last group, which I like to call outliers. First, there is wa and wo. Wa is used in many words, such as wasabi, while wo is almost never used in words, but is often used as a grammar particle. We will get to those later. Ituturo po yan sa inyo later on. Finally, we have N, which is the single consonant sound you can write alone. That is not followed by a vowel. That is how we make words such as Nihon, which means Japan. It is also the only symbol that can never begin a word in Japanese. The more you know. So, ito lang yung word na never mong gamitin sa umpisa ng Japanese words. Okay? At itong wa at itong wo. So, parang nakakalito, diba? Kasi parang magkakahawig sila, pero may pagkakaiba po. Kahit anong mangyari, may pagkakaiba. Okay, let's wrap up. Your next step should be practicing what you have learned by writing these symbols down until you can use hiragana without hesitation. Although numerous, you can probably memorize hiragana in 1 or 2 weeks if you dedicate some time to it every day. While it might seem a bother, remember that sticking with romaji only will severely limit your ability to communicate with other Japanese speakers as well as delay your vocabulary progression. Good luck in your studies and we'll meet again in our next video. Alright. So, pag-aralan nyo po ito, bibigyan ko kayo ng worksheet and you will find it beside the video ng video na to or below it, anywhere. Basta hanapin nyo lang. It will not go anywhere but near this video, no? Yung worksheet ninyo. And then, i-download ninyo yon at gamitin nyo sa pagsusulat. After nun, pagdating ng ating live coaching, kailangan yung ilabas yan at ipakita because you are also going to submit it to me. Okay? I will give you further instruction kung paano nyo to isusumite. Maraming salamat. This is Coach Jingo and I'll see you next video.